Well, my name is Antonia, you know me. I need to thank you that you are here. If you weren't here, I couldn't be. So what is it here? What am I to discuss today? Well, I work now with young people who are 19, 24, 27 and opt for a professional career. And they asked me to say how to improve your employability and or not just or lead your own company. There are different types of people in the world, but we will focus on two: those looking for a job and those who actually want to run their own company. I hope I wish I would have Google or Facebook, because that's important as well, as a country, as a nation state, and for personal development, because I know very talented people. Let's not forget that these two people, the one looking for an employment that they find satisfactory and the entrepreneur, are complementary. We cannot have large companies without wonderful employees, and the other way around. Great employees need great companies where they can further develop themselves and be happy. A good company is the one that helps their employees become happier and happier every day. It's not just money. Everything is necessary here. If a company helps its own people grow, that's paramount. What is employability? Why is it so difficult to find good jobs? Why do we need to work on it, landing a good job? And how can we get better to achieve our targets? As these things, well, I've been good at, that's why I've been brought here to explain that to those who want to get some orientation. So what's employability? It would be something like the capability to present yourself nicely to an employer. So it's not it's how brilliant you are, how much you know, but opening up to slot, as it is called, which is a job vacancy, and somehow seduce with your personality, your background, knowledge, and then land the job. And if you're doing so, it's because you need it, because you want it. We will not accept a job that is not for us. That would be employability. And I like this, that it helps you as a person, so that you feel fulfilled. So if you're going to spend 8 hours a day, when you get home, it's not to yell at your kids. It needs to help you feel fulfilled. And why is it so difficult to find these jobs? Because maybe they do not exist, good jobs, right? And this is something that when they say all jobs seem crap, right? Maybe we haven't searched well enough for that very good job. Because think of the following: 90% of all people work for someone else. But you have a powerful visionary. It seems that they all need to be entrepreneurs and companies. And so Germany had a visionary with power back in 1936, Adolf Hitler. So that's the worst thing, a visionary with power. And it's not that. 90% of all people work for someone else. And then there's some people starting up companies, but we cannot have 90% startups. Who else would work? Chinese people? They are so dangerous, you know. But we lack the contextual vision. So this is kind of a game board. You need to be in there. What's around you, what's offered to you, but it's not so trivial. And I've seen their newsletters, and the fucking world is a 15-inch or a centimeter high screen, and they spend their day like that, and they admire each other. They just, give a blow to each other. I don't know. That's losing your context. And you don't really have a context of idea of where you are or where you're moving. And that is paramount. We don't know how to add value to ourselves. Enrique said it. They're very brilliant people. And it seems that adding value to yourself, showing your value, it's seen. Well, if I'm good at something, I need to add visibility. And I might not have a degree, and the way to compensate for it, or, well, I'll explain that later. You need to have your own profile, your place. I'm on Google, 60,000 hits. That can counteract what not having a degree could mean, but you need to give value to yourself. Antonio, I have this invention, but I don't say it out loud in case it gets stolen. If I had a hammer, I would hit them. What's the point of an invention? Who's gonna copy it from you? Because the world has almost been fully invented. You need to share, you need to add value to those things you've had. You at home, just saying it to me when it seems that your treasure is gonna get stolen, see? Lord of the Rings, what was the name of that thing? A smiggle. And we overvalue ourselves. So out of the blue, because you've done something, you've been on a blog, whatever, and you think you're God yourself. I am huge. You're no one. You're a nobody. Have you invented the AIDS vaccine? So what have we done? Anything special? Have you saved 500 million people in the world? No, you're not so special. You do things because you lose your mind. And I've seen it. You get a call because you've invented a tool and you think you've done something, but actually not. You have this tiny second of fame and you overvalue yourself, modesty, humility. You might find these people who are too full of themselves. It seems that it's like getting a date with Obama, Mr. Obama, but the world is full of morons, and yet we need to deal with them. Why should we work on it? We need to really understand that if we want to live, living means paying bills and accounts. That's living. In a society we might like better or worse. So this is important. Yes, we cannot live at home with mom and dad until we are 41. And some of you are close to it, right? We need to work on that. And it's unfortunate. I don't know, I've lived some 16 countries or so, and I'm surprised that there are 37-year-old people, 37, who would have been at war, been sent abroad to war years ago. They're still with their parents. So what's gonna come to you? Will you get an independent life when you're 55? When you're about to get your retirement pension? Then stay with your dad amount forever. So you are lucky because you live in a society that is flexible, giving you opportunities. You might think not, but it has. And so try and use it. Live your own means and build your own pathway. We need to live our lives. How can we get better to achieve our targets? This is no magic trick. This is just common sense as with anything else in life. Engineer comes from ingenious. It is common sense. You solve things because you follow your common sense. So 5 steps. As part of your passion, that it's cybersecurity or computer security, just use 5 sensible steps. Prove your training. Yes, we need to be able to prove it to some extent. University is important. I find it very important, but the university needs to go through you and not you through university. Because here you just get a piece of paper at the end and after going through university. It doesn't work like this. It is important at some point to question, and not now, that we need to have a degree, a higher degree because you like it. That's your training and you need to be able to prove it. We need to be fully trained, truly trained, qualified, meaning anything you've published or presentations and speeches given at a conference, that's part of your qualification, part of your person. Enrique Gonzalez, not Serrano, Gonzalez. Work on your profile and add visibility to it. Yes. I don't want to talk about LinkedIn. Well, I'm on no social medium, but those tools initially need to be used, are to be used. And we need to have those nice profiles so people say what they think. People think differently from us. They see the facade before the human potential under it. But if you don't give them the facade to the human potential, you won't get there, and you need to work on that. By the time you get a status of super saiyan, then you can delete your LinkedIn and Twitter accounts because it doesn't matter. Work on your social skills. Having social skills. Actually, we were at networking yesterday. It is paramount to have those social skills, visual, eye contact. I cannot speak like this. I'm a genius. This is Raymond in front of me. It's so simple, and it's important though. When you express something, look people in their faces, look me into the eye. That's it. And it's difficult, but that's the way that you express yourself. This is my Los Ramones T-shirt. Hey, you rock and roll. Here you go. But it is important though to have that eye contact because it breaks down distances, and this all can be trained. It can be trained. No need to go at high level, but you pay attention to people who are good at it, to try to have role played. And this is good because your technical skills sometimes, 95% of all times, are reversely proportional to social skills, right? So we need to boost it as part of this. Do not be arrogant, but do not be a moron either. I do things, I do very interesting things, I'm good at selling, but if you're a moron, you are ruled out immediately. First, because if it's seen as a threat, or because they realize they are a moron. So, do not be arrogant, full of yourself, yes, but yet you need to know how to communicate. I do this because I love it, because I'm good at it. I'm worth it. But do not move on to being full of yourself. Yes, no, that doesn't work. In the short term, it can bring you some results, but, in the mid-long term, we all find our position in life. Know how to ask for something. If you're doing something good, you might say, nothing below 80,000. Well, below 80,000, what I give you is trash. I do not get out of bed for less than 80,000 or 8,000. You need to know how to ask for something. When you go to a job interview, the idea is how much I'm going to be paid. In Spain, there is not capitalism, but Spanishnalism. Quite the contrary. Solutions such as, how much do you want to make? That's what they reply. As much as possible that can be given. That's what I'm here for. But you decide. So you throw the ball back. I'm here to make money, to make as much money as I can. But it's also up to you to decide. And so the decision is made. You need to know how to ask for it. And if before we leave the company, betray the company, we want to ask for something, you can talk to your boss and say, this is me. I want to leave it. I will get more money elsewhere, but I love this. So I would like to ask you to change this in any possible way. I don't want to be a stakeholder. I just need a raise. And what about this? Oh my God. Oh my God. This is what we miss here. What we need to do in Spain. Learn English. Not yellow, red window. I'm way too old for this. But honestly, the potential that you get out of English in life, I wouldn't have traveled to so many places if I were not good at English. And they say, yes, I speak English, and they've been speaking English for 20 years, and they seem to be a stand-up comedian just mocking the English language. It's just like that. For how many years? 45 years now trying to study English. So it is so important. And what about French would be important, yes, but let's start with English. And this was said by my friend Mark Hoyt from Hacker Choice, and that's true. I've realized as I came here that actually that's an effort you need to make, because if you speak English, 50% of the race is yours. So you've had a 50% edge. Not as good as Trump maybe, but you need to speak English. And you need to make the effort. This idea that there are many options in Spanish, that's a lie. I want you to speak English. And this was it for those looking for a job. And I said it. So 50%. 90% of humankind works for someone else. And what do you need to have your own company? And what should a company look like? Why would you start your company? In Spain, you cannot start up, and it's easier elsewhere. This is the lie for everyone. It seems that it's free of charge elsewhere, that they give you so many offers elsewhere, give you $100 million on the table. For that, you need to be a squirrel. It seems the handicap of not having our own business is that it is way too difficult. It is just difficult. I've had companies in several countries, and what's easy here is difficult over there, so that's no excuse. This is just a way to be on the backstage and say, well, I don't do it because I can't. And many of you have ideas that are great. I'm not, the country makes it difficult for me. Maybe you don't have the balls to do it. Because often we go into those kind of excuses. If you have any concern, any knowledge, and you think you can contribute to something, you won't be the only one. It seems that we need to make up invent something that is single, unique. It's been invented already. Imagination is finding something that is already been invented with some new application, and you create something new. Stick and a ball, and it is new. And that was for a mob. So you would have a cloth, you would have a stick, you put them together, and you got a mob. So this is not so exclusive, but for a few examples, of course there are a few, but many things are part of inventions where someone mixes them up together and they work and they become something unique that very moment. If you want to suffer for free, but doesn't matter. This is important. Enrique said it. Setting up a company, starting up a company is not about exploiting people. It's about becoming a leader, working harder than your own employees, because you preach with example, and this takes suffering, it takes effort. I got from Colombia the other day at noon. I was at the office, and I left my office at 9 in the afternoon. But this is in the evening. That sacrifice, it hurts, because then at 9 I was coming here. You need to be ready. To what extent? So how much do you want to give of yourself just to make your dream come true? Every centimeter of this beach needs to be taken with blood. That's it. You pay in blood. Money doesn't come for free. If you think you can change things, this is one of the greatest options. If you think you can create impact on society with what you lead, this is paramount. Just the other day, at the MIT, with Ricky, that is for children, for cancer patients who are kids, and this is kind of a straw. They got millions of dollars, and you can use it for polluted water. You push the straw in, and you suck it up, and it changes it all, because you get clean water. This was an invention that will change the world in Africa and elsewhere. And this was just an invention. You just suck in clean water out of dirty water, polluted, contaminated water. It changes things. So making money can help change the world, and he will be a billionaire, because you see the social impact of what he invented. So kids do not die anymore because of they have stomach worms. We need a product, a visible idea that has a market beyond your mind, because I see people coming to me with ideas like, yes, yeah, great, but this is up in your head, because no one has done it in the world. Maybe because no one is interested, right? Maybe no one in the world is interested. You need to be visible, doable. Picture it, discuss it with your friends. Team needs to be engaged. Why did we win Europe? Well, Dan is not in the room. We won because we were perfect war machine. Still, everyone knew who they were attacking, who was attacking, who was leading, who was claiming. The team equals success to a company. Often with business angels, if there is no team, there's no money. If the team is just you, okay, next. So individuality is pointless in the current world. You are worth as much as your people. This is what I am. Good social skills, but the employer has to have them, of course. Funding. This tends to be the scourge. You can start out getting financing, funding in so many different ways. And you as technicians, you can do things that can start funding your dream. The company doesn't need to be your invention, your source idea. You can have some kind of a hybrid made. You can bring enough capital in, principle in, to move towards your dream. Have my effort into what I want to be, but since I can get work, I can get jobs because you have it, I then fund my project like that. And there will be a point where the investment wheel, these friends, families and fools, this is working just for some time, but you need to give value to your company. You need to work very hard so that it has a value that needs to be a project value, a market value, or because you are invoicing, you're making money. And that's where you can find mechanisms, and I guess INCIBE can find this for you. I know a few in the US, but the short listing is very difficult. You get through 300 business people who are interested, and only 3 will get the money. When you get there to Harvard and MIT, you will get the funding, but it's not just like that. It's not trivial. It's like a CTF. It's not just that I go there and I get the money. And as part of that funding wheel, or those business angels or investment mechanisms, you need to bargain for your freedom. There are so many bastards out there. So many bastards. So do not get excited and enticed by the apple, if the apple is in exchange for your soul, because this will be offered to all of you, and this happens. So you need to be smart enough. So do not lose control over the company. Do not lose control over the company, or else you will end up like Steve Jobs. You get kicked out. And just to finish this up, what should it be like, that company you build? It has to be a company that needs to be different, not just look different. So in Spain, we live in the world of looks and appearances. We are also cool, but that's a lie. This is a politically correct speech, and we don't hurt each other. This is a lie. You need to be visionary. Your company needs to be. Albert Einstein said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge," and it is. You need to view things, picture things that others don't, and things are around you. This is brainstorming continuously. I can do this, and that needs to be aggressive. Your company needs to be aggressive for sure, because you live in a market where you need to make money, for which, well, maybe doesn't follow the Second World War Japanese model by the Ministry of Defense, Mr. Tojo, who now killed 30 million people, 3 T's. Destroy it all, kill them all, take it all. Not so much, but companies need to be aggressive because you are in a market where you need to position yourself. Hard working as well. Work is the only thing. Merit is the only thing that in the mid, short and long term will position you as a successful company. Work, and that's all. There's no other way around it. On constant development, of course, but if there's no hard work, no suffering, if you do not pay attention, you will not be successful. It's all about work, getting your degree, growing up. It's all about hard work. Don't have a conformistic company. Do not settle down with what you have. This idea of being anesthetized, this is the one in Mr. Robot that gets up high with heroin, and that's what I don't like about Mr. Robot, because he's kind of a junkie, and he's also a genius. It doesn't work like that, right? You cannot settle like that. do not get anesthetized or numbed. So this way it works better. Ethical for clients and employees. If it's a non-ethical company, it's a deceased company, and this is missing in Spain. It needs to be good for your people, meaning that if they live their lives, if they live their jobs happy because they have a means of living and feel fulfilled, and your clients as well are happy with their service, that's ethical company. And that was said by Aristotle a few years back, and it exists, but we don't read it anymore, right? We burn down books, same as with Fahrenheit 61. What was it? And you need to pay your taxes. We don't like it. Oh crap, it's time to pay my taxes again. Yes, the society we live in, the opportunities we were given need to be funded. We need to fund those who will study a degree, the health system, which means that a successful company needs to pay taxes. The more you pay, the more money you make. It seems that the more they pay, the less they make. But actually, if you're making no money, you're paying no taxes. You're creating an ecosystem because you pay taxes and your products will be used more. And even if I'm working on cybersecurity, there's kind of a coil or a tornado, and it all goes back to the wealth and richness, and you need to keep that in mind. Same, you see the Cayman Islands and Panama, what they try to do is not to pay a thing, a dime. And you need a leader. Doesn't mean that they are the best technician, because you're going to develop a business, and so many things revolving around it. So no matter how good you've been, how hard you've studied your degree, your team is not just like that. Engineering can be recruited. That's your employees. So you don't really need to be the most technical one. If you've seen the last film with Bosniak playing jobs, but Bosniak, you barely know how to program. Nothing about electronics. Everyone says you're a genius. What do you know? I play an orchestra. I play the orchestra. I'm the leader. And he was the mediocre one, the most mediocre one, so to say. The most average guy. But he was leading the orchestra, and he got what he got for the people with him. I know that I will get kicked out, so that was me now. So Mundo Hacker helped us so very much, because in the end, this hard work and effort that you do because you're passionate about it, it yields fruit as well. And that's why I wanted to... Can you play it for me? To show you this clip.
En 2006, 5 de los mejores hackers de España crearon un programa de radio online sobre ciberseguridad. Unos años después, la televisión se fijó en ellos. Ahora protagonizan el único programa de televisión del mundo sobre seguridad informática. Bienvenidos a Mundo Hacker. Presentado por Antonio Ramos, uno de los hackers más reconocidos de España y Sudamérica. A su lado, un equipo formado por profesores universitarios, autores de libros de seguridad y formadores de hackers éticos. Muestran los principales ciberataques que suceden actualmente alrededor del mundo y enseñan cómo prevenirlos. Ellos muestran cómo gobiernos e instituciones pueden espiarnos. Pueden comprometer casi cualquier infraestructura. Ellos ayudan a la policía a resolver ciberdelitos. Colaboran con ejércitos para entrenar cibersoldados. Ellos son hackers. Mundo Hacker. Esperando.
Bueno, pues espero que os haya gustado.
I hope you liked it. Thank you for bearing with me. So an applause for me, please.